Famous investor David Tepper is having a terrific year. His portfolio is up 23.96%, which is clearly beating the S&P. He's also beating most famous investors that I track. He's only behind Chase Coleman, that's having a terrific year, Robert Vinall, and David Tepper is in third place. He is ahead of Tom Lee's portfolio, the Granny Shots portfolio, and Kathy Wood's famous portfolio that are both growth oriented. So he's been very successful this year. And in his career, he's been extremely successful. So much that he owns the Carolina Panthers NFL football team. You got to have a lot of billions to do that. So I'd like to take a look at his portfolio, see what he owns, what he's doing well with, and what he is not doing well with. Overall, these famous investors, they've been successful for a long time. And I could probably learn a few things and gather, what's working for David Tepper. And could I maybe use some of that positive magic that he has in his portfolio and use it in my portfolio or get an idea or two? Let's take a look at his portfolio, see what's working and what's not working. David Tepper owns a long list of stocks and he rebalances every quarter. So it makes for a lot of work if you're analyzing his portfolio. The one stock that's done really, really well for him is Alibaba. He's been a big investor in this stock. It's his biggest position. And I think that's a good reason why he's doing so well. Just in the third quarter, the stock's up a lot. And in the first quarter, it was up tremendously. So Alibaba is a good reason why his portfolio is doing great. As you can see, some others are not doing as great. They're just single digits. Looks like NRG is one of his biggest losers. He doesn't have any big losses. This one's probably the biggest percentage loser, NRG. He also has a position in Vistra, which for the most part has been working quite well, but not this quarter. A 32% gainer in the quarter is Google Alphabet. Look at that, looking good. Another big percentage gainer is Pinduoduo, another Chinese stock to add on with Alibaba. Deutsche Bank. This bank's up 20%. Here's a 35 gainer in GLW Corning Incorporated. We can take a closer look at that and see what's going on. That's a really good gain. Another the loser would be Caesars Entertainment. This is a casino. I know them in Las Vegas. And yeah, Las Vegas has really seen a drop in tourism. So I understand that. And another nice percentage winner is Delta Airlines. He's gone into United and Delta Airlines. Interesting. And a stock that's lost some money, although it's a very small position, is Goodyear Tire. So overall, he's up almost 24%. He could thank Alibaba for a good portion of that. And let's take a look at dissect a few of his positions. We'll go over a couple winners and then a couple stocks that are losing money here in the third quarter of 2025. Alibaba year to date is up 59.9%. So that's a big reason why his portfolio is doing so well. This is his biggest position. Market cap of Alibaba is 302 billion, and the P ratios are still quite low compared to other companies that are similar to Alibaba. Analysts still think it's discounted by 20%. And I agree with that. I think Alibaba continues to be discounted. And I am a shareholder of Alibaba as well. So this was a genius move for him to hold so much in China because it's really rewarded him. Both Alibaba and Pinduoduo are up substantially. Another stock that is doing really well is Corning. And Corning creates a lot of premium glass products that go into technology solutions, whether it's in automotive or on the iPhone or through high-speed internet connections that need fiber optic. It provides a lot of that technology. And David Tepper was smart enough to invest in this company. Corning is a $60.98 billion market cap company, so it's kind of a mid cap. And its P ratio this year is really high, but next year it's supposed to come down to 26.95. It is priced a little expensive, but the stock is up 49.8% year to date. And for the full year, 72%. So nicely done, David Tepper, picking a real winning stock in Corning. He also owned Vistra Corporation, and he's done really well with this company. This is a retail electricity company that's selling power, and it's expected they're going to need to sell power to these big data centers. So year to date, this stock's up 36%. Over the 1 year, it's up 145%. So really nicely done here. In the quarter, it's not doing all that great, but it's already been a really good winner. So that's really nice for Vistra. The market cap is 63 billion and P ratio is 29.5. Utilities have really gained a lot of appreciation because it's expected that there's just more power is going to be needed by these data centers. And David Tepper was wise enough to invest in Vistra. David Tepper only had a few stocks that went down in price, and one of them is Goodyear Tire. Now, I wouldn't invest a whole lot in automotive nor the suppliers to automotive, but for some reason he saw an opportunity. Maybe it was because it's so sold off, but he lost a little bit of money, not too much, and it is a really small position in his portfolio. Goodyear is a tiny cap, 2.43 billion. I would have thought it'd be bigger because it has a pretty recognizable brand. PE is really low. It seems like the market just doesn't want to pay anything for a automotive parts or tire manufacturer. So that is Goodyear, one of the few losing stocks for David Tepper. So what are the lessons learned from me in looking at David Tepper and researching his portfolio? There's a couple. First, he's not afraid to have a long list of stocks. He's bought into a long list of stocks. Two, he's bought into themes. Like he bought into China when he thought it was a good idea. He bought into utility companies and technology. That's really worked for him. I think that's a good idea. Once you see that something's really working because the economy is good for that industry, it's wise to look at other companies that might be in that particular industry. That was really a good idea that he followed. And then the third thing is he's not afraid to rebalance. At the end of each quarter, you see that he sold and he bought, and he's rebalancing. I think his portfolio from the first quarter to the third quarter has really changed. He had more stocks that were in China, but he did sell off some of the smaller, lesser known names and is really stuck with Alibaba and Pinduoduo. So he wasn't afraid to rotate out of some stocks, maybe that he felt like he got the gain he needed, or maybe the story changed and he was willing to move into a new set of stocks. So that was really good as well. That, hey, it's smart to look at stocks and see which ones maybe have gotten to the value that I was looking for, or maybe the story has been completed and we're moving on to a new storyline or a new theme in the market. So those are interesting observations that I'm taking away from looking at David Tepper. He's really accomplished, and I'm going to continue to study him because I think I could continue to learn. If anything, just appreciate which stocks have made him successful. So that's my video on the famous investor, David Tepper. I hope you found it interesting. Thank you for watching my channel. It's been really fun and satisfying to have a channel for a couple of years. I've met a lot of great investors, and together we've really grown. And I wanted to offer you the opportunity to become a member of the channel. It'll give you more access to valuations, research, more access to more videos, the tools that I use, as well as being more connected with me, as well as other members of this channel. There's 4 different levels. Take a look and see if one of the levels is something you'd be interested in. I think you'll benefit from being involved, and I hope to see you soon on one of the member calls or on Discord.